Okay. Whoops. Trying to get my microphone. Back to Torchlight 3. This will be more of a review video after playing it for, I think I played it maybe 7 to 8 hours now. Got to level 10 with the engineer. After trying to understand it a bit more and getting more familiar with the gameplay loops and the skills and how the game feels. Long story short, too long didn't read. I'm pretty unimpressed with it. I don't think it's very good. I definitely wouldn't recommend buying it for $30. I know it's early access, but I don't think that just gives it a free pass to be bad. It's not awful. It's not an awful game, but it's not a good game either. And it's very apparent that this game started as a freemium mobile-esque game. And that was the only saving grace it had, was the switch back to okay, we're gonna try to do more of a single player experience. We're gonna just charge money for it. It's gonna be like the old Torchlight guys. That's what they told us. And I was really excited because this is my favorite genre, and I hated the idea of, some kind of free-to-play, garbage MMO like action RPG with, the shared grind zones and the paywalls and the non-existent power spikes that you usually hit in these freemium games, because they want you to essentially hit these walls, and you're never going to feel like you gained a ton of power in games like this. Raid Shadow Legends is kind of like that too. You never really feel like you're getting that much stronger, because they want you to hit a wall, and it's like a meticulously crafted pace where it's too slow really to play at the free-to-play speed. And that's how they design these freemium games. And I'm not necessarily saying that about Torchlight 3 now, but a lot of the systems are really reminiscent of games such as those freemium-esque games that I played in the past, and it's very disappointing. It makes me upset, actually, when I play, thinking that this could have actually been, a great, Torchlight 3, a genuine sequel to Torchlight 2. Let's just say this isn't Torchlight 3. This is basically like a mobile ARPG, essentially. I like the graphics personally. I think some people probably have a problem with this, like bigger, broader strokes, big, colorful, A lot of people are comparing it to like a mobile game types graphics. I have no problem with the graphics whatsoever, and I still think the animations and everything, they feel pretty good. They feel pretty fluid. After playing it, though, for a bit, I keep getting hung up on, like, invisible... I don't even know what. Like, my character just keeps getting hung up when I'm trying to move throughout the environment. Hitboxes seem wonky. They're a little big. It's hard to kind of, like, quickly maneuver your character in and out of enemies. If you want to get away from them, what's it called? Kite them. You don't want to, like... get away, I want to attack again. It seems like I can click almost anywhere near this guy and it'll hit him. So I feel like not only that, but even while trying to move away, I'll just get stuck on stuff randomly. So I'm not really enjoying the movement from that regard. The itemization feels pretty bad, honestly. So far, we have this Lifebound mechanic here, which is, it's kind of like a risk-reward mechanic, which actually is, I think it's kind of cool. I see a lot of people complaining about it in the, the ongoing multiplayer chat. They think it's really stupid, because when you die, you lose this, these Lifebound items. And there's ways to keep them, I believe. I haven't experimented with it yet. There's an item that you can, like, attach onto it, or you get rid of the Lifebound effect on it, so you can just kind of have the item. And even if you die, I believe that's how it works. I haven't tried it yet, but I have unbinding scrolls. So I think if I use that and then I die and have an Lifebound item, it won't lose that item. This is actually one of the only mechanics that I think is, really taking a risk here, and not just the what's the word? the endless drawl, is that a word, of monotony of these titles that it just so resembles a freemium game where I think big power spikes like the Lifebound items offer a lot more power, of course at the risk of losing them when you die, and I actually like that in a game with gameplay such as this, because in all of the games that this resembles, these freemium games, which this is not, it is a pay-to-play game now, but you could have fooled me, honestly, with the basic gameplay loop and just the feel of it. And just the fact that the skill system, honestly, too, this is something that needs to be looked at. Let me, if I could look at it for a second, I don't want to die here because of my Lifebound items. Alright, let's map some more goblins, pop a potion just in case I get attacked. But, this, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 skills here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 7. 14 skills in total. 2 trees. You'll have maybe 2 different builds for engineers. I mean, you'll probably have the conductor build or the slammer build, and they'll probably all look about the same. And there's respectacles. That's kind of cute. And you can, I like how you can't just keep respecting again and again and again for just like 100 gold. I do like that. I like a sense of, you know, player choice, build paths, and permanence. So in that regard, I think so far I like that. You can take away points. You have to find these. They're not super common, but they're common enough where, like, if you made a mistake, you don't have to regret it forever and restart your whole character. But regardless of that, it's just very underwhelming. And gaining a skill level is underwhelming. When you level up, you don't really feel like you're really getting all that much more powerful, and that's a very common theme with what this game started as, which was a free-to-play game where the power jumps are almost non-existent in free-to-play games. And again, and I state, they are this way so that the pacing will maintain they'll maintain the pacing that they designed for this free-to-play model to get you to want to buy their, you know, their power boosts, their experience boosts, their gem packs, etc. But it's almost like the developers forgot that they tried to overhaul the game and they slapped a $30 price tag on this. And while there's no blatant elements, there's no absolutely blatant elements that you could say, okay, this is a freemium game, this is like a mobile freemium game. There's so much remnants, there's so many remnants of this previous model they had that it really does kind of taint the experience, at least that I'm having. You might disagree. It started as mostly negative, then it became mixed. It was having server issues, and I thought I bought it thinking, okay, these reviews are because of the server issues. They're trying to fix up the game from this free-to-play model. I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I love the genre. I loved the first and second game. I really loved the first one too. I liked the heirloom system. I liked the potential to, you know, kind of break the game by playing it over and over, like beating it again and again and heirlooming an item. I thought that was really cool. I love the second game. It was obviously expanded upon greatly, you know, from the first, and in a lot of ways felt a lot better than the first one. But there's things about the first one that I actually missed. But overall, the second one was a great action RPG, and for all intents and purposes, it was fantastic. I consider it one of the good ones in the last, you know, whatever 5-10 years. But you know, so far I'm just very unimpressed. No stat allocation. That's not the end of the world. But it kind of limits your player choice and your builds again. And it wouldn't be the worst thing, but on top of the lack of stat allocation, it feels like there's a lack of skill, you know, real skill choice or customization as well. Items kind of just feel like blah. I never really am too excited about any item. I mean, I obviously like upgrading my loot in the game, but overall, it's real boring most of the time. I see, you know, defense, fire defense, defense. They are in a lot of, you know, people say stat sticks, quote. They kind of feel like that. And unfortunately, I don't know if this is something that I have been unlucky with so far, if there's Lifebound legendaries or not, but I found 3 or 4 legendaries already, which, you know, feels good to find a legendary with the cool, like, stats on it. It has the different on hit 2% chance to it does the cool legendary stuff, right? But I find a Lifebound item, and it's just better than any legendary I had. I had 3 or 4 legendary weapons, and this blue Lifebound item's just better than all of them. So I'm hoping that's not going to be a constant theme throughout the game where you're never going to use the legendary item just because the soulbound items just seem to have blatantly better stats. And I mean, these little effects are nice, but it doesn't compare when my item's doing, whatever it is, 75% more damage or 100% more damage. I mean, the other things I swear were doing, like the legendary I had, and it was lower level, but it was like 14 damage, 15 damage, 16 damage, or something like that. This is 26 damage. It's way more. So it's like, I mean, there's nothing to really look at. There's nothing really to compare. When I see this DPS, this average DPS, I have to pick it. I mean, there's no real choice there. So, is this where I'm going? I don't like the map either. I can't find a way to overlay the map onto my character like, most RPGs have that. It has the good old-fashioned alt to look at the items on the ground. I mean, that's pretty good. It's not all doom and gloom. I'm having enough fun with it to at least try to like get through it, but I know that sounds bad. And it is what it is. It is how it sounds. I mean, I'm trying to get through it, but it feels very uninspired. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, I personally, I think Grim Dawn's probably more worth your time. Path of Exile, and I wasn't even a huge fan of Path of Exile either, but I'd rather play through D3 again with all the new content that they've been getting. It started as a mess. I mean, maybe this is just going to start as a mess and then get better, but I don't know if I can really see it getting better because I think these core systems that they, that the remnants have been left behind from this freemium, mobile-esque model, this monetization model. I don't know if there's much they can do to salvage it. I mean, they could add more skill trees. That would be one. That'd be a big thing, in my opinion. I would love to see some sort of stat allocation personally, but that's not a game chain. It's not gonna be a make or break. But I want to see more player choice. I want to see like real, genuine builds. And I'm not at late game, so I don't know for a fact if there's a variety of builds and the characters are really going to look way different. If my engineer is going to look way different than somebody else's engineer at endgame. I don't know for a fact, but just quickly glancing at it, I usually have a pretty decent understanding of stuff like this at a glance, and I can't see too many different variety of builds late game with what we're given here. I mean, it's going to be probably two different engineer builds, maybe. All probably using just stat sticks, whatever stat you can pile on more, more defense, more health, more damage. That's probably the way to go. So, I can't see it becoming really much more interesting than it is now. And right now, it is. It almost feels kind of brain dead. It doesn't feel very interesting to me. And that said, it makes me feel bad even saying this because, again, I really loved the series and I really like the genre a lot. And after I bought Wolcen day one when it was finally fully released, and anything in the genre that I can get my hands on, I'll buy because I'm starving for a good action RPG, like an isometric action RPG right now, in the vein of the Diablo type games, and I just have not been finding any real good ones. Again, like I said, there are some out, but I played through Grim Dawn. I had fun with it, but it's one of those things that I'm not trying to get back into it at the moment. But it was a good one. Path of Exile, you can argue, is a really good one too. I played through that a bit. I did have a decent time with it. It wasn't quite what I was looking for, but I can't deny that it's a good action RPG. But again, it makes me feel bad saying it, and I know it's early access, but I just can't see it getting too much better. But let's be hopeful. Is $30 a ton of money? It's quite a bit in my. It's not like a AAA $60 new release Xbox game or anything, but $30 it's a chunk of change in my opinion. It's on the upper end of pricing nowadays with games. And for what you get right now, I don't know. I don't recommend it personally. But we'll see if they can add another skill tree to all the characters. Maybe if they can expand on these skill trees, maybe like an extra choice here, maybe 3 here, 2 here, 3 here, 2 here. If they add maybe 5 more in each tree, I know that might be a lot to ask. Even maybe not 5, maybe 3 or 4 in each tree, and then add a tree. You know, maybe expand player choice a bit more with. I know there's a relic system. This seems wonky too. These are basically skills. Like it levels up. You automatically level these up. You just get them, and you can put them in your skill slot. So it's kind of unrelated to my engineer character, and it's like I have this spinning blade attack now, or I have this rupture. I think this is a passive actually. Increases chance to rupture. Okay, let's. Oh, I think we're gonna disconnect. Oh, never mind. Okay, we got this one. That's weird. All right. Yeah, and it just feels really weird and kind of disjointed. It's like this has nothing to do with your class, but you can use these abilities too, I guess. Maybe they'll synchronize, sort of. And it's kind of like a bleeding, like, artifacts. What is this called? Relic? Bleeding relic, and you level this separately, and you also have these passives, and I don't even quite get it, to be honest, how you really unlock. Do you craft them or unlock them or what? But you can select different passives. This one looks good just because it's more damage, attack speed for now, but there looks to be quite a bit. There's a lot of them, and this is some customization here, I'll admit, and I haven't quite delved into this yet, but it's a little, I can't see it really adding an incredible amount of depth, but it's just little bonuses that'll complement your characters. So like maybe I'm a sword and board character, and one passive will be like, oh, extra block chance, and that's the same thing with the pet too. And it does add a tiny bit of depth where I have this hawk or whatever this is, owl hawk or whatever, and it'll increase my my crit chance passively, and that's pretty cool. So it's like, okay, you want to be an auto attack character, you want some extra crit. That's a little potential for customization there. So don't get me wrong, I'm not just trying to poop all over the game. I mean, it has some good points too, but overall it just doesn't really feel like there's much choice, even with all this, like the pet, the relic system, the skills. There's no stats. The items kind of all feel samey. There's no real choice, I feel like, when I'm selecting my items, at least not yet, not the first 10 hours or so, not the first 10 levels or whatever, not that I'm seeing. So does it have potential to improve? Yeah, for sure. I mean, this game could get two times as good, it could get 3 times as good, but who knows how long that'll take. And yeah, hopefully, my review or this review or whoever, people downvoting, will, I hope it won't cause it to not flourish, but at the moment I'm able to buy it and I'm able to, commentate on it, and it's just not there yet. And I don't recommend it. It's not there. If you're absolutely starving, like I was, I love this genre, I was totally starving, maybe if there's some kind of early sale on it, if you have an extra $30 laying around with absolutely nothing to do with it, it's a time waster at the moment. It's not blowing my mind. You could probably justify buying it if you're really, really bored and you have an extra $30. Don't expect much though. Honestly, that's my thoughts. It just feels really underwhelming and clunky. I'm just saying the same things over and over. Yeah, I don't know. The fort system, we could talk about that for a minute. You build up your fort, and again, this is reminiscent of the real slow progression freemium-esque models of games, where you have a bunch of stuff that you can really slowly level up, and it'll give you, 2% to your fire resistance permanently by feeding it like Goblin Flame or whatever it's called, Goblin Rage. It's just another resource in the game. Or you can feed your luck tree. You plant like this little luck tree, I forget the exact name they gave it, and it'll give you, I leveled it up once and it's giving me like 3% item find, or like gear score luck or whatever the system's called exactly, gear luck. So it's these systems where we're working with really small numbers, small percentages, very kind of unimpactful, this slow gain. We mine like it's Albion in this game. It's not nearly as bad, I admit, but this reminds me fully of Albion, which I've played and got kind of bored of. I don't know why I'm really mining in this, supposedly $30, standalone experience. I'm mining like it's some kind of freemium MMO where it reminds me exactly of Albion, the mining, except for the mining is actually it doesn't seem quite as in depth, and it doesn't seem as tedious. But it seems simpler too. Like it's not even, I don't know. Like it's just, why'd they even do it? Kind of like why am I chopping trees? I just want to smap goblins, get loot explosions, level up. I want my character to come into his own. I want to, have player choice, build my character how I would like, be proud of that later. Like, oh, I'm a tomahawk, like barbarian or whatever. The old D2 days with like, what was that? The throwing axe barbarian or whatever. Some of these builds, they're not the most viable builds for everything, but it's cool because you can kind of make your character your own. And so far, I'm not really getting much of a feel for that in this. And yeah, I don't know why I'm chopping trees for it just feels like kind of a shallow experience from the start until at least now, which is kind of still early game, but early mid game, I suppose. Getting kind of halfway, 3/4 of the way through the first area, I believe. I mean, I can check my map in a second. I mean, this is about it, though. I mean, you go around, you smap some stuff, which I like. I like that in action RPGs. I want to smap some stuff. I want loot explosions, but then again, I want my character to feel like my character. I want to feel like when I'm leveling up, like, oh, like wow, that was glorious. I gained some power here. Like this skill I just added really. Oh, I wasn't even using my train. Here's the wonky train. How it pops up, like this. It's okay. It's smooth enough. It kind of almost, it looks a little weird how it just click, click, kind of pops up like that. It doesn't look like the greatest, but I see what they're going for. It's fine, I guess. It's not necessarily impressive. It's just kind of a passive damage train, and then you can have it, you can use abilities like this Mortar Strike, the Shotgun Blast with the 1 and 2 key, some extra damage. I could probably make a build that's just like tanky and just running around and having the train kill everything, But yeah, it could get better. It could get better. It's not currently good. It's not currently terrible, but it's just very shallow. Maybe I can find a cool piece of gear in this dungeon. Kind of show you the items, the item itemization in it a little bit more. The loot explosion after a boss, which is usually like 2-3 items. It seems like common mobs barely ever drop anything. It seems like chests, it's so funny, it's almost like insulting. You'll open a chest and it'll be like, I forget exactly what it says. It'll say something like lucky, like really lucky, and then it'll drop like 2 little piles of gold and like a potion. And again, this is so reminiscent of like this free-to-play model where it's just like you never really get anything, right? And then the only time you ever really get like an item is like you'll go through a dungeon, you'll kill the boss, and he'll drop like 1 or 2, like one thing. If you're lucky, it'll be like one thing, and it might be an upgrade, or you might just sell it all and then repeat. The dungeon layouts all kind of feel the same. The enemies, I can't tell you how many enemies also have had this fire trail ability and a boulder smash ability where it's it indicates where the rocks will fall with like a big, circle kind of. You can miss it if there's a lot of action on screen, but it's like a circle. It shows you where these rocks will fall. Here we go. We got Stinging Wing. Stinging Wing. Let's check that out. But I can't tell you how many enemies have had the same abilities where it's just fire trail and then the boulder fall where it's a short delay, then it falls, does like pretty heavy damage. I've seen that on, I think, 3 different little mini bosses or bosses already. Let's see, 23 damage. It is Lifebound. I don't know if it can level, though, because it doesn't say level out of, you know, etc., out of, like, 10 or whatever. If this is a one-hander, though, we could probably use it. So, 23 compared to 26 damage. Flying Pick gains 50% increased initial weapon damage. See, that's cool. I don't have that ability yet, though. Recharges twice as fast and applies poison instead of bleeding. Basic attack. Quickly targets in an arc for 75% weapon damage. 75%, sorry. Poison damage, bonus, attack speed for basic attacks. Let's try this. Let's put a shield on. This is a Lifebound shield, so it's probably immediately I would think it's better than this one. Chance to block is higher. Health. Chance to block is not actually higher with the bonus this one has, but this has a huge general defense. I'll probably pick this one. So hey, we're using a legendary item now. That's pretty cool. I mean, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to just bash the game just to bash it. It's a nice looking piece of gear. I really do like the gear on the characters so far. I have really nothing to complain about it. I like the sense of progress that your character, at least when you gear him, he looks like he's getting stronger, and he looks like he's changing with you know, the gear you're using. It overall is nice. Well, this is a fast attack sword. This is pretty cool. I could probably use that. But yeah, nothing to complain about cosmetically. I do like that aspect of it. But oh, whoa. We don't want to lose these Lifebound items. Currently on hard. I don't want to lose this thing I just got. If we can kind of quickly get to a boss, maybe, and that'll probably wrap up the video. Oh, I forgot to use my Relic thing. So I can press E to do some kind of Relic charge thing. I get like some sort of bleed, extra damage, you know, various RPG things. Like I get a bonus to whatever. That's my Relic or whatever. It'll do damage. It'll give me bleed chance or something. It's all pretty basic stuff, to be honest. You can select I think 5 different relics to use, and they have these like I said, these trees. And you get to a certain point and you unlock new passives or abilities, and then you can unlock these little separate like sub traits on the abilities or the general relic. So when I kill somebody, it'll heal, you know, that when my relic is active. Or I can buff this spinning blade attack that we got from leveling the relic, and I can give it increased damage, or I can give it, you know, cooldown or whatever. Kind of cool. So far, I saw like 5 of them. They're all like kind of in the vein of different elements. Like one's like electric or whatever. One's like poison. This seemed kind of fitting for my character, like bleed. I just want to like cut people up with swords or snap them with like a mace or whatever, you know. So I'll do that. I don't want this video to run on too long though, so I'm just kind of trying to get through the dungeon here. You can stop the train from moving. I don't quite understand what the point of that is. It seems like it's just better if it just follows you. Maybe if you want to stop it by like a teammate or something, if you're playing multiplayer, if your train has like a buff. I know there's like a shield one, if you want to shield your teammate and maybe stop it by them. But it ultimately, I feel like that's probably too much work for no reason, really. I mean, your teammate could probably just run by the train if he wants the buff, you know, so. But it's whatever. I mean, I'm not trying to complain about a small detail like that. Oh, you can stop the train, it's an awful game. I mean, that's fine. I just don't see the point of it, really. I mean, other than the fact that, like, you activate the ability. And that, in that regard, it makes sense. Inside my skill tab, I activate the ability. I let the train loose. It's just like, I get this feeling, though, where I'm getting through this dungeon. It's just like, I just want to get through it, though. I'm not really... Maybe I'm anxious to just, like, get to the boss and kind of finish the video here, because I don't want it to run on too long, but it just feels very bleh. It feels bleh going through this dungeon. It's whatever, you know? I don't know. I have my passive damage train going through the dungeon. The map is the map is a little bit to be desired in my opinion, though. I am a little disappointed with this map. You really can't see all that much at all on it. Let's see, these are little buffs, power-ups and stuff. This is a healing shrine here. Some of them will cause like earthquakes around you, dealing heavy damage. Those are very useful. It seems like one of the most useful ones I found so far, the earthquake one. Just seems like you can kind of just run by enemies and it sort of just kills them. But there's other ones too. I think there's a crit one. There's some sort of magic one. All pretty basic stuff, honestly. Not too much to commentate on it. Just probably what you'd expect usually in games like this. Let's kill this Yapper's rival, Dog Jockey. Well, we're taking some damage from the Fire Trail ability, which we have seen on probably 5-6 different bosses already. It's whatever. I mean, I don't mind it. It's not a bad ability. I would like to see some, like, truly unique experiences with these bosses, though, and I honestly feel like I'm versing the same bosses over and over again. It's just some kind of blob of an enemy, and then there's fire trails, and then some kind of boulders that have a short delay and then smash down doing damage. That's the main abilities I've seen so far. Besides, of course, you know, auto attack stuff from enemies. Yep, just trying to get through them. Not much to commentate on. Just kind of smapping them here. We can just kind of get through this guy. I'm using quite a few of my potions on this boss, actually. He's taking some damage. Maybe we shouldn't have switched to my single sword. Man, finally. Did we get anything cool? Flint and steel. I don't know what that is. Let's check that out. Ember core, that's good. Can't even tell you at the top of my head what that does. Forget. You craft stuff with it or something? Where's flint and steel? Is that a resource? Collect from bosses used to craft relics. Oh, that crafts relics, yes. So the relics, you know, are the separate little ability tree that I showed you before. I don't know what that flint and steel thing was. It looks like we got a pet collar. You can customize your pet a little bit too. It's kind of cool. It's still pretty basic, you know. Defense here, crit here, defense here, health here. You know, it's not. I don't think it's a big game changer or anything when it comes to customization. At later levels, maybe some variation of whatever the above that'll make it slightly different, you know. But it's all going to come down to really attack and defense. So whatever has higher numbers, you're probably going to be clicking on. Oh, these look a little better. Defense and fire defense, they're higher. So I'll pick these, put these pants on here. I'm saving all this actually so I can feed it to my luck tree to increase my luck. But I'm gonna send all the common stuff to my pet, and we can send the pet to town. Just like the old games, pretty nifty. Nothing to complain about there. It's a really good feature in a game like this. I do like that aspect of it, but let's see. Nothing too. Yeah, nothing too crazy here. Just actually, I'm gonna go down here just to make sure I didn't miss anything. It's ultimately probably gonna be a waste of time. There's gonna be absolutely nothing down here, I don't think. But we'll see. No, there's nothing. Okay, so there's the dungeon. Here's some, you know, resource mining. Yay, we got metal. Cool. Alright, goblin graffiti. Little lore-esque story, whatever. World building.
Kill this nutskin. Bonus snacks for the race trophy.
I think that'll be it for now. Maybe making a video later, further thoughts later in the game. I will keep playing it. Again, 5 out of 10, honestly, ultimately. Just very unimpressed with it. I don't absolutely hate it. I don't despise it, you know, but I think the developers could have done better, and I genuinely don't think they should be proud of this game. There's nothing to really be proud of. I mean, they started as a free-to-play game. They brought it over to it with a $30 price tag. I don't think any of the core features that they had before really changed all that much. I'm sure they gutted the outright, you know, cell phone freemium-esque content, obviously. I mean, when you slap a $30 price tag on it, you obviously have to. But ultimately, I don't think it's a very good job. And I don't think there's anything to be proud of here. And I don't think there's anything currently to miss as a player. So if you're absolutely starving for an action RPG, if you're totally bored, if $30 is nothing to you, if you have $30
Your pet has arrived.
just laying around, go ahead. I don't think you'll be impressed again, though. But yeah, that's Torchlight 3. Again, this could change later. They could add features. I'll make another video if they add some like really cool features, if I stand corrected. But at the moment, I don't think this core gameplay loop is really going to change all that much. Not that I can see at all, and just glancing at it all. And oh, looks like we have a level up. But oh, we have 2 available. Cool. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, at least that's Rail Masterclass. I'm unimpressed currently. So, but I'll keep you updated if anything changes, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.